Resource speaker for this afternoon. His topic is all about networking 101 or the basics of networking. As mentioned, his name is Professor Arlo H. Fernando. He graduated his master's degree, Master's in Management and Information Technology Management in Colegio de San Juan de Letran. Again, Mr. Arlo Fernando. Yes po, sir. Go ahead.
Ay, ma'am, nag-e-echo po talaga.
Nag-e-echo po, ma'am.
Nag-e-echo po.
Is this okay?
Nag-e-echo po.
Yes, sir.
Nag-e-echo, sir.
Okay na po, okay na po.
Okay na po, sir.
Okay na po, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the low quality webcam. But are you able to see my presentation?
Echo po.
Yes po.
Yes, sir. Network.
Yes po.
Yes po, nakikita po namin.
Kita po.
Yes, sir. Kita po namin siya. Please, iba po, pakimute na po muna ng microphones nyo to give to Sir Arlo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn off my webcam. Kasi medyo low quality and you'll be focusing more on the presentation. Wait, may commercial. Wait lang. Okay. So, for today, we'll be discussing basics of networking. Does anybody here have an idea of what computer networking is? Hello? Sorry. You can...
Business?
Do you have any idea what computer networking is? Siguro may idea kayo what it is about generally. Diba? Siguro may alam kayo or... I'm sure naman kasi na-encounter nyo na siya in one way or another. Okay, so let me start off. I'll be posting a link to start off the discussion. I'll be posting a link. We will be starting with a quiz. Yan. So para engaging ka agad. And nasa Google Chat nyo, please do click on the link para po we'll start off with the interaction. Wait lang po ah. Hello, can you see the link?
Yes, po. Yes, sir. Apo, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you click on the link so that you'll go to the short quiz that will start off with the interaction, or rather activity. Na-click nyo na ba? You're supposed to see something like a UQuiz account.
Okay na po, sir. Okay na po. Quiz his name.
Lang ha. I'll be presenting my screen for the UQuiz. Wait lang. So you'll be seeing what I'm seeing with UQuiz. Alright, can you see my screen now? So ito yung mga naka-connect. Kita niyo?
Hindi pa po, sir. Wala pa po.
Opo, kita na po.
Okay. So I'm seeing here several
Okay na po, sir.
students na, no?
Ayun, Kirby.
Okay. So hintayin lang natin sila makakonect.
Bakit kayo na dyan?
Okay. That's 55. We're 101. So siguro yung iba, baka hindi makakonect because they have a very troublesome internet connection. I understand naman po. Kaya natin dumami pa. We've got 62, 63.
Mo, pare-send mo link. Sabi mo kay sir. Sir, pare-send po nung link.
Okay. Now,
Thank you po. Dito sa... Ano yung isa?
okay. You have 77 participants already. I think that's the start na siguro. No? Well, they can still join pa naman, I believe. Okay. So,
Sir, sasagutan na po namin.
start na po kayo. Sagutan niyo na. So I'm seeing a lot of people here using mobile phones as your means to connect to the internet. Okay. Yeah. So basically, this is an idea that most of you people are connected to the net and have an idea of what computer networking is, even though you're not. Hindi pa tayo nagde-delve with the technical terminologies of what computer networking is. Okay, so we got mobile phones, desktop computers, laptops. Yun yung mga sagot nyo. Yan. So karamihan, mobile phones. No, that's nice. So it gives an idea with regards to our online class, what you're using right now. So, mga nagsasagot pa.
Mobile phone.
Yeah, mobile phones. Okay, so that's it, I think. Ay, meron pa. Yeah, good. Majority is mobile phones. Actually, Apple is mobile phones, no? Dito bumababa.
Pinag-iisipan nila.
Tagal ba?
Okay. So I think it's safe to say that majority of you people are using mobile phones as your device to connect to the internet. So next question. Can I go to the next question? Is it okay if we move forward po?
Sige po, sir.
Yes po.
Okay po.
Okay lang po, sir.
Yes po. Apa.
Yes po.
Okay. So what is your main reason for connecting to the net? Other than what we have here. Nakikita natin yan.
Sir, kahit ilang sagot po ba?
Kahit ilang sagot. This allows multiple answers to say.
Di ba kahit ilan?
Kahit ilang.
Ebe po. Ingay.
Wow. So mataas communication. Okay. So can I ask you guys, anong communication do you deal with? Is it more of IM? Is it more of email? Ano yung ginagamit nyo?
Messenger po.
Messenger
po.
Yeah, thank you. So, Messenger, I think majority of the answer falls under that, no? How about email? Meron po ba email?
Yes. Yes po.
Oo, yes po.
Meron po.
Email din po.
Yes po, yes po, sir.
Minsan.
Games. Entertainment and games. Ano yung specifically na ginagamit niya for that?
Usually, messenger.
At kanina may nakikita ko, may nag-ML, may Among Us. So that's right. You're actually exposed to what networking is, and I think even though you not know it, you have a basic understanding of what computer networking is. So I'll go to the next question, okay?
Yes po.
Okay, so
Ako,
this pertains how long do you surf the web, do online games, how long are you connected to the net?
Babad buong araw.
Half of the day is rising. Every day means
Araw-araw.
araw-araw, parang every day of the week.
Babad.
Half a day? Whole day?
Nag-grind.
Seryoso ba yan?
Grabe.
1 hours a day lang?
full
Limited
day
ba?
walang tulog.
Ay, na nag-signal ko. Naglo-loading.
Okay, so majority here have answered half of the day. I think it's limited with your connection time kasi, or probably with the bandwidth. No. Okay, let's move on.
Po.
Okay. Now this is just one basic quick fact. So do you think that there is a difference between the word internet and internet?
Pwede po Tagalog?
Oo, sige, ako lang. Pwede Tagalog.
Yan.
At the end of the quiz, there'll be your answers. Oh, no? Get back.
Internet.
Why do you think there's a
Ano nga daw?
difference? Mr. Nuwan.
Sir,
Am I right? This is a Mr., right?
Internet.
Yeah, internet, the capital I, and internet, the small I.
Okay.
Do you think there's a difference? May pagkakaiba ba sila when you use them?
Hindi kami na nakaano ko, Mike.
Nandiyan ba si Mr. Nuwan? Hindi ba si Nuwan? Can I have an explanation by Mr. Nuwan, please? Nuwan, bakit no? Bakit walang pagkakaiba? Tingin mo?
Pwede po mag-search.
Pwede.
Sir Arlo, Sir Arlo,
Yes, po.
Sir Arlo, excuse me. Doon sa mga students, habang nagsasalita si Sir Arlo, pwedeng pakipag-mute po ang inyong mga sarili kung hindi po related sa kanya or hindi tanong ang sinasabi niyo po. Please, kasi nang-i-interrupt, sayang po yung chances na pwede sila makinig. Okay, so pakimute po, uulitin ko sa huling pagkakataon, pakimute. Mr. Vin, pakimute po ang inyong mga microphone. Kapag may tanong, saka lang mag-unmute. I hope you understand kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng mute, please. Okay, thank you. Sir Arlo, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Almonte, Ma'am Regina. Now, I can see here some of your answers. So, may mga iba tulad ni Ali. I think nating idea niya, City, wow. Okay? But some of you have answered.
Sir, hindi ko po alam kung bakit gano'n. Nagkakabalik-baliktad po.
I think so, but I don't know what it is. Tama po ba?
Opo.
Talent reading backwards. Okay? Internet is a private network and internet is a global system of network. Pwede. Okay? Maybe the internet is about a medium or platforms. Internet is power of connection. Ayos. Pwede din naman. Okay, so madami na nagsagot. And I'm actually happy that some of you are using are using your advantages of being online to search for the answer. Hello? Yes?
Hindi pa po ako tapos. Wait lang.
Okay lang, okay lang. I'm still waiting for the answers and I'm searching the answers here. Yun. I see this here. Thank you. Okay, so those who are done, or rather those who are finished, I'll be explaining this para at least mag-start na tayo dun sa ating lesson proper. The difference between the two, internet, may nakasagot na kasi. Internet, the capital I, refers to the internet that we use, the World Wide Web. Okay? Whereas internet, small I, actually refers to the connected devices. Yung nasa loob ng bahay nyo, yung mga connected devices, pag naka-connect sila, it refers to that. So, internet capital I is actually a noun, whereas internet, the small I, is an adjective where it describes connected devices. Okay, sana malinaw yun sa inyo, ha? So, medyo teki-teki yun. Okay? So, thank you so much for answering. Let's proceed with the lesson proper. And thank you so much. I do hope that you got to learn something from the quizzes. Later, meron pa tayo isa pang quizzes. Okay, thank you so much. I'll be ending the quizzes. Okay. Meron pa isang tanong. Sorry. Okay, let me end this kasi I believe we're pressured with time. I'll be ending this. I'm sorry. I'll be ending this. I'm really sorry because I think we are pressured with time, you know. Medyo late na kasi tayo nag-start. Okay, so we'll discuss this na lang with you and me talking about this. Rather, talking about this. So, ano po ba yung huling ginamit nyo? Huling ginamit nyo na application, or rather program, pwedeng game, na nakakonect kayo sa internet? Any answer?
Virus po.
I'm sorry?
Virus sa akin.
Messenger.
Messenger.
Facebook. Instagram. Google Meet po.
Matrix po.
Twitter.
Ay, hindi. Messenger po. Bagpool po.
Tomato po.
Messenger po.
Gmail, sir. Gmail.
Zalada po.
ML.
La Shopee. Lazada ang putik. La Shopee. La Shopee po.
Google ID.
That's nice. That's nice.
Shopee Shake.
That's nice, no? No, you are all.
Google po.
You are all, I believe, internet savvy. Thank you so much for answering. Now,
Thank you,
it's an idea that you are not rather, you are abreast with what computer networking is. Now, let's start off with what are we going to be discussing today with regards to computer networking. You know, hindi kasi natin kayang tapusin talking about computer networking in one sitting. It's actually, there's a lot of terminologies, there's a lot of things that we need to discuss. But to give you a brief understanding of what computer networking is, I have this for today. So we have discussions with regards what is computer networking, what are several of the types of computer networks, elements or components, what makes a computer network. We also have types of connection, how we are connected, and also discussions with regards to terminologies like what is network architecture and what is network infrastructure. Also, what are the frequently used computer hardware and the current trends with regards to computer networking. Okay, so please reserve your questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, we'll tackle the questions later para tuloy-tuloy tayo. Is that okay?
Opo.
Opo. Yes, sir.
Po, sir.
Yes po, yes sir.
Sige po.
Opo, opo.
Okay, are you able to hear or rather see the presentation?
Ano
Hello?
po yan?
Yes po, sir.
Ulit po.
Kita niya? Okay.
Opo, nasa screen po yung presentation.
Thank you so much.
Kita po,
Opo.
kita.
So let's get started. So why do we need computer networking?
Pa-mute no isa.
Okay, why do we need computer networking? Thank you so much for muting. So computer networking is one of the basics for us humans. It's similar to our dependency on air, food, and water, and also shelter. No. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, what is the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning? Diba? You hold your cell phone, check for messages, check for texts, diba? So that is one basic thing that computer networking does. And that is communication. Okay? We share information with one another. What are the traditional methods of us sharing information? So dati, we do that still, but due to the pandemic, we're limited to this. You have face-to-face, you have printed press, you've got newspapers, magazines, you've got TV, and yung ngayon, digitally, network mediums. Okay? Next. Definition. We need to understand, we need to have a basic definition of what a computer network is. I've got 3 definitions here. All of them come from reputable sites. Okay, so medyo may jargon dito, medyo malalalim yung iba, but we'll come up with our own madaling definition. So the first one, can I call on Mr. John Andre Guzman? Hello, John Andre? Are you there? Hello, John Andre? Yata ako narinig. How about Sherwin Carias? Sherwin Carias, are you there? Can you please answer? Sherwin Carias, are you there?
Po. Yes po.
Hello? Okay. Can you read the first definition that we have here? Actually, can you read all of them? Ay, hindi. Sige. Yung first na lang.
A computer network connects parts of a distributed architecture, whether those parts are made up of hardware or virtual or logical resources.
Okay. So, ang daming techie terms, no? Daming techie terms. We'll come up with our own basic definition, but basically, a computer network connects devices. Okay? Another definition here came from Cisco.com. You'll hear a lot about Cisco. Siguro when we tackle more about networking in the coming semesters kapag nandito ay CCC. Now, it's a deep technical definition. Computer networking refers to connected computing devices, ever-expanding array of IoT devices, and so on and so forth. Diba? Medyo madaming jargons. But the last one is the best definition that we have here. Computer network is a set of computers connected together for the purpose of sharing resources. So basically, a computer network are just connected devices that share information. Yun lang po yun. There's nothing more to that. A computer network is a set of devices connected together to share information or data. Okay? So yun lang po. So, next. Sorry about the background noise. So why do we use computer networks? Why is it important? The first we have here, it fosters the exchange of ideas and information. Diba? We share ideas and information. What do we use to share ideas and information? We use Facebook. Diba? We post ideas every day. Diba? Information. What else? We use Messenger to share information with one another. We use our Gmail accounts, or rather Gmail. We use Yahoo Mail if you have one. Share information with one another. What else? It increases productivity opportunities across the globe. Even though you're not... See, may nagsagot kanina, di ba, that they do connect to the internet for work. Tama po ba? Now, even though, especially with the pandemic, even though you're not supposed to be, or you can't be physically present dun sa inyong trabaho, you can still log in, just like what we're doing now. Okay, what else? It connects people and promotes unfettered communication. What does that mean? Walang delay. Okay? The unfettered means walang delay. So traditionally, we use snail mail. Meron pa ba gumagamit ng dito? Leave wala na po, no? Mga traditional methods of sending letters. So yun po kasi. Medyo instantaneous na po ngayon. What else? It presents the platform on which to run your businesses. If you have one. Okay, meron tayo sa Facebook. We have Facebook Marketplace. May nagsagot sa inyong Shopee. May nagsagot na Lazada. What else? I'm sure you're familiar with Carousel. And so a lot of businesses have gone online. Okay, what else? It addresses emergencies. Remember the Taal eruption? Okay, so the Taal eruption, probably if that happened without computer networking, a lot of people from faraway places would have not heard of it, and they could have not helped. Diba? Lately, we have the brush bushfires in California. We also have one in Australia. So we're able to help it, even though they're really far away. We still can extend our help and support. And lastly, it supports several platforms for education, science, and government. Okay? For education, it's what we're doing right now. Online classes, online courses. Okay? We also have science for research and collaboration. So yung mga scientists kasi, they share ideas. For example, one is doing research about this thing, tapos yung isa nasa different location and doing the same research. They can share resources or they can share data and information. And lastly, about the government, a lot of the services are offered online. For example, meron po ba dito nag-apply na ng SSS or rather kumukuha ng SSS data online, PhilHealth data online. They also have passport data online. Diba? See, they offer that.
Ako po, sir, sa PhilHealth.
Yun, okay. So, PhilHealth na-experience nyo online. Karamihan, online na po. Okay? Thank you so much for that answer. So, there's a lot of reasons why we need computer networks. Okay? And it has influenced us in a lot of ways. So here are some of the network support functions that it does for us. It has influenced us, firstly, with the way we live. I'm sure nagawa niyo na to in one way or another. Yes, sabi niyo nga po, instant messaging, you do Facebook. But other than that, do we have any more? Nakapag-WeChat na ba kayo? Diba? Meron pa tayo, ano pa ba yung iba? Aside from WeChat, we've got Viber, we've got Skype.
Telegram po.
Friendster po.
So there's
Telegram po.
several applications out there that we may not be familiar with, but that you guys are using, so that's nice. What else?
Discord po, Discord.
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 Yeah, I mean, din nakikita ko yan for gaming. What else? So we also have wikis. Narinig niyo na yung wikis, di ba? I'm sure you have heard of Wikipedia. Tama? So
Apo.
So what are wikis? Wikis are basically sites that give more information or share more information about certain topics. For example, there are wikis about ML. There are wikis about Dota. There are wikis about several contents. But anything that you need to know about a certain topic, those are wikis. Okay, may wikis din for Pokemon. May wikis din for ano pa ba? Basically, wikis are just like forums. Eh. If you have heard or gone through a forum, those are basically what wikis are. Okay. So next, we have weblogs. Okay. So what are weblogs? Weblogs are short for web and then logs. So basically, ito po yung have you ever done here like a diary? Lalo yung mga babae. Have you done diaries? Like you log what has happened to you for the several days? Every day naglalagay what has happened to yourselves. Meron na po bang ganun dito? Ayan, Reddit. Reddit is an example of wikis. Thank you so much for that. Weblogs. Or rather, sorry, diaries. Have you done diaries before? I'm sure girls have done that.
Dati po.
Dati.
Yes.
Okay.
Record.
Yeah. Pero, yeah.
TNF.
Okay, so you've done weblogs before. There's blogs and there's actually vlogs, di ba? Narinig yung vlogs with a V. That's video logs. And the difference is weblogs is narrative in format, whereas vlogs is, alam po natin, video. Kadalasan nasa YouTube, wherein you see what has happened to them. Chronological na order, nagalagay sila vlog number ganito, vlog number ganyan. Okay, so day-to-day activities nila. They're documenting what has happened to them. Okay? Now, kung weblogs is narrative and vlogs is video, podcasting is actually the same thing but in audio format. Okay, audio lang po siya. You get to listen to it. Okay? So I do hope this has given you some clarifications on what the differences are with weblogs or blogs, with vlogs with a V, and podcasting. Okay? So different na po ngayon. Dati diary, traditional writing on your diary, that what has happened to you. Okay? And it has also influenced the way we learn. Nowadays, or rather, in traditional learning kasi, di ba, classroom environment, you've got your teacher talking in front of you, dishing out information, giving you what you're. Nowadays, we've got modular learning, online classes, yeah, and other learning opportunities. Have you heard of Skillshare? Narinig niyo yan? Skillshare?
Trial version.
Trial version Skillshare. I'm sorry, did I hear a recording? Trial version?
Trial version.
Okay, so we have Skillshare, we have TEDx courses, online learning. So it doesn't limit you from learning new stuff kasi madami na po ngayon talaga sa net. Even YouTube, sabi nga po nila of my previous students, YouTube is your friend. If you don't know something, you're gonna learn it from YouTube. Okay? What else? It has changed the way we work. So, iba na po ngayon yung pagtatrabaho eh. We got collaboration tools. Now, what are collaboration tools? Nagagamit nyo na to. Siguro hindi nyo lang po alam. So, Gmeet is a collaboration tool. Google Docs, diba? So, anything
Discord.
I'm sorry?
Instagram.
Okay, so anything that lets you share your work with your coworkers is a collaboration tool. Facebook Messenger, pwede po siyang collaboration tool.
Zoom po.
Video conferencing can be considered as collaboration tool. Anything that lets you share information is considered as collaboration tool. Diba? Google Docs, ano pa?
Zoom po, Zoom.
Zoom, okay? So anything na nakakapag-share kayo. One of the most famous ones is G Suite and Microsoft SharePoint, if you have ever used them. Okay, what else? So we've got a term here called telecommuting. So what is telecommuting? Telecommuting is the ability for you to go to work even though you're at home. In short, work at home. That's another term for telecommuting. Okay, what else? For working, you've got online markets and auction sites. So sikat na sikat for auction sites is eBay, online markets, Facebook, Carousel, so on and so forth.
Amazon.
Yeah. Okay, what else? So ito, madami tayong may share dito. The way we play. So we've got online interest groups. Yung mga kasama din na wiki eh. Okay? We've got online games like ML, Dota, LOL, ano pa ba? Among Us, sumisikat ngayon. Okay?
Valorant.
Valorant po.
Ano yung bago?
Pwede yun.
Baka hindi ako updated eh.
Meteoros. Bari yun ba?
Genshin Impact po.
Oh, madaming bago, no? Genshin Impact. So, research ko nga yun. Baka yung mga kabilaro.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, classic yun ah. Sonic the Hedgehog. Ragnarok. Baka may nagra-Ragnarok kasi.
Kabal Online.
Kabal Online. Okay, so ang daming online games. Roblox, Minecraft, di ba? So, about online entertainment naman po, I'm sure you're exposed with Netflix, View, di ba? YouTube. So, everything is online. Summertime Saga, okay. So, anything is now updated online. Thank you for the contribution for Summertime Saga. What else?
Just yun ah.
CSGO po.
Move on.
Yes,
Okay. Can you start now? Hello? Can you see my screen? Nakikita niyo po to?
Yes,
Apo.
Yes, sir.
So next part, we'll be discussing what are the types of network that we have. Kasi madaming klaseng networks eh. But these are just general types. Kasi marami kayong maririnig na acronyms pagdating sa computer networking. You've got LAN, WAN, PAN. Saan na natin pag-usapan yun eh. Kasi baka mamaya information overload. Let's just discuss one of the general terms with regards to computer network types. You've got intranets and extranets. So if you read the definition here for intranet, dami, it's a mouthful, di ba? Computer network for sharing information, collaboration tools, operation systems, and other computer services within an organization. Ooh, ang haba. But there's a better and short definition. It's private networks, a network within an organization, a small network. Okay, so to give you an example, yung mga bahay nyo, you've got an intranet. Kasi it's a small network. Paano naging network? Kasi you have, di ba, several devices in your houses. Cellphone mo, cellphone ng mami mo, daddy mo, kapatid mo, kung may laptop ka, kung may tablet ka, all those things that are connected to your network, they are called intranet. Okay? What else? Example, ComShop. They're connected with each other, but it's in a specific or small location. It's an intranet. Lalaki pa siya ng konti, sabihin natin network ng isang school, okay, that is an intranet. Another example, basta isang entity lang po ang may hawak or isang organization lang po ang may hawak. That would be called an intranet. So maliwanag ba tayo doon?
Opo.
Right.
But just to give you a general idea, intranets are smaller. So next, we've got extranets. Tatandaan niyo yung intranets, small private networks. Okay, paano daw po yung franchise ng ComShops? Yung isang franchise, it's called an intranet. But what if it's connected to another ComShop? Diyan po papasok yung extranet. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng extranet? Kasi kung ang intranet devices magkakonnect, ang extranet networks magkakakonect. So example, franchise sa ComShop like Mineski. Okay, Mineski sa Latran versus Mineski sa UP, that would be extranet kasi they're connected with each other. What else?
TNC po. TNC.
TNC, yung TNC sa Los Baños. Meron pa bang ibang TNC? Yun lang alam ko.
Trial version.
Sa Crossing po meron.
Pinoy sa May City dyan versus
Trial
Pinoy
version.
sa Las Piñas and so on, they're connected with each other. Okay? Diba? So that would be considered an extranet. Okay? Different networks connected with each other, but it's not limited with the same name. Okay? I'm sure that everybody here is, or rather has known that Jollibee owns a lot of corporations. Diba? Alam nyo, Jollibee owns Chowking. Jollibee
Inasal.
owns Mang Inasal. Thank you so much. Okay. Jollibee owns Red Ribbon, Greenwich. What else? Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Marami pa. Smash Burger.
Kuya Jay.
Kuya Jay. Ako ko lang. I'm not really sure if that
Kuya Jollibee.
siguro magandang business venture than
McDolobee.
for them. Okay. But basically, an extranet is the network of Jollibee with several other businesses. Okay? So what you want here, or rather, what defines an extranet is a network connected with another network. Okay? So another example is SM. SM has a supply chain management na kung saan maraming binibenta sa SM. Lalo sa department store, there's a lot of brand names in there. Okay, di ba, nagtitinda sila ng shoes, nagtitinda sila ng a lot of them in there. But they have a system that is connected with those companies. For example, it's connected, their supply chain system is connected with Nike. Diba? Whenever they need orders for more shoes, they just purchase an order with their network. So, a different network connected with a different network, that is an extranet. Maliwanag po ba tayo doon?
Apo.
Bright po, bright.
Maliwanag.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's move on. Okay. So what makes a network, or rather a computer network, a computer network? Ano ba yung ingredients meron daw? What are the components that make a computer network? We have 4 here, general. So, pwedeng maiba-iba per book. But these are the general ones that make a computer network. First, you have to have rules. And rules are the same. You're gonna hear this. Rules in computer networks are pertained to, or rather are called as, protocols. Hello? So, computer network rules are pertained to, rather referred to as, protocols. And ang dami. Kasi with computer networking, ang daming acronyms. You've got HTTP, HTTPS, DHCP, FTP. Yung P sa dulo, anything na may P with regards to computer networking is called protocols. And what are these protocols? What are these rules? Kasi these rules tell the computers or the devices how they are going to communicate with one another. For example, naisip niyo po ba, why is it that even if your browser, let's say your browser is, alam niyo po yung browser, di ba? Yung ginagamit niyo pang open ng internet. If you're using Google Chrome, you made something with Google Chrome, and you opened that same site with Opera or Safari, you're still showing the same thing. Diba? They operate with rules po kasi. Okay? What else? Other rules govern like bakit yung desktop mo. If you have a desktop that has a brand name of, let's say, IBM or Asus, you can still send the same data or information to a computer that is a different make. Let's say Apple. Now, they can still understand each other, and they are governed by rules and protocols. So, dapat meron daw nun. Okay, next. Are you still with me? Okay pa ba kayo?
Apo, okay po. Okay po.
Okay, so we also have medium. Okay, so medium, palagi nyo matatandaan to. Medium is the way for them to connect. Paano sila nakaka-connect with one another? As it says here, communication channels used to interconnect nodes on a computer network. I'll discuss nodes and medium later on. And next, one of the important things that we have here are messages. Yung messages kasi ito yung information or data. Why did you connect to the network? Ano bang isesend mo? What are you discussing? Kasi if you're connecting to a network, you're going to send or receive information or data. Okay? And then you have devices. Devices are the one that you use to connect, be it laptop, be it cell phone, be it desktop, and so on. Yun po ang gamit po natin. So I'm hoping that you're clear that these are the ingredients for you to create a computer network. Okay, so pag tinanong kayo, ito po ang kailangan. Okay? Let's move on and we'll discuss more about network media. How do we connect? We've got 2 general ways of connection. First is wired, and then is wireless. Baka po kasi iba sa inyo. Maybe you have done like crimping before. Meron po ba? Nakapag-crimping na kayo ng
Bluetooth po. Yes po.
Okay. I'm sure that you've been exposed to it in one way or another. Yung wired po, ito yung dekable. These are the connections that you use, physical mediums. Copper, yun yung usually binibili nyo na network cable. And then yung coaxial cable. Ano yung coaxial cable? Ito yung bilog that you usually use for cable TV. It's actually used for network connection. And then we have fiber optic. Okay, fiber optic cables is the same thing as copper, but it uses glass as medium kasi copper transmits data electrically, whereas fiber optic uses light transmission. And also differences between the two is fiber optic is much more faster than copper. Mas mabilis po siya with regards to data transmission. And yung laki ng amount ng data that he can actually transfer, mas malaki po sa fiber optic. That's why, di ba nabalitaan niyo sa Facebook that we had this interruption with regards to the internet? Di ba? Nagkaroon tayo ng issues with regards to internet. I think we're still using the
Opo, meron po.
Opo.
PLDT.
Diba?
Opo, meron po.
I-converge, ganyan, so on and so
Meron
forth.
sa PLDT.
Oo.
PLDT po.
Converge, bulok
PLDT po, PLDT.
Malala na PLDT.
PLDT po.
Oo, malala na ang PLDT. The reason
1 week daw wala.
why we have these interruptions is that they are servicing the ocean line, yung malaking kable that goes under the ocean that connects us with other countries. So yung po kasing inaayos nila. Okay? The next we have wireless media naman po. So if we have wired, we have wireless. And I'm sure you've been exposed to this. You've got Bluetooth na nagamit nyo. NFC. Now NFC stands for Near Field Communication. Now the difference between them, parehas sila na malapitan yung connection. But Bluetooth provides a more wider range than NFC, and Bluetooth is more secure than NFC. NFC is typically used for contactless payments. Yung bayad, kasi you can use your cell phone as a payment medium. Okay? So ginagamit yun doon, kasi contactless payment. And then you've got Wi-Fi and WiMAX, or sorry, WiMAX rather. WiMAX for wireless. So palaki yung range natin. Wi-Fi, I'm sure you've heard of it. Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity. Okay. So meron tayong wireless fidelity. So yung ginagamit yung mga router sa bahay niya. May mga bago pa nga tayo eh. We also have LiFi. Have you heard of that? LiFi stands for light fidelity. Wi-Fi uses radio signals, whereas LiFi uses light, parang pulsating light. And then we have WiMAX. WiMAX stands for wireless interoperability for microwave access, I believe. So yun po yan. Parehas din po yan. You can have wireless connection. The major difference between them is that Wi-Fi, the range is usually 100 meters. 100 meters. Whereas WiMAX is 50 kilometers. Okay, parang it's a small city with in comparison to Wi-Fi. Mas malaki po ang range ng WiMAX. Okay? So yan yung ginagamit ng mga city-wide na Wi-Fi connections. Yan po ang ginagamit nila. Also, we have cellular technology, which has a broader range kasi satellite po. And then we've got LTE. Okay, may natutulog na daw. Gising-gisingin nyo. Medyo kulbit-kulbitin mo. Okay. Now, LTE stands for long-term evolution. Yung mga ginagamit nyo, 5G. Yan. Or rather, wala pa tayong 5G dito sa Calamba. You can experience 5G, sort of 5G at Manila. LTE is 4G. 5G is newer. Mas mabilis siya. Okay? You can experience that in Manila and parts of Alabang. Dito sa atin, sa Laguna, wala pa po tayong true 5G. Okay? Sadly. Okay, so I'm hoping that you gotta understand the different connection times that we have in terms of computer networks, wired and wireless. I'm sure na-expose naman kayo dito.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes po. Yes.
Ang alam ko po, meron na pong 5G dito sa atin.
Is it true 5G?
Kasi po yung PLDT po na installan namin, dalawa po yung yung Wi-Fi connection, isang 4G, isang 5G.
Okay, so siguro may 5G sila eh, no?
So, may 5G
siguro
Isa-isa lang doon.
isolated areas. Okay, isolated areas for Calamba. Tagasan ka ba? Yung may nasabi mo may 5G sa bayan?
Palingan po.
Malingon, no? So, siguro may areas. Personally, hindi ko pa na-encounter ang 5G sa may area namin. If you encounter 5G, may experience mo yun na ang bilis, di po ba? Ang bilis ng connection, seconds lang,
30 Mbps.
30 Mbps.
Bilis mo pag 5G.
Pag 5G po kasi, especially with, meron na nga actually tayong lalabas ng 6G, gigabit wireless na po siya, mas mabilis yung mga transfer speeds. You're talking about if you put a comparison or give you a retrospective on how fast they are, 5G and 6G parang mere minutes lang po if you're downloading a 1 gig movie. You're gonna experience na walang buffer masyado when you're viewing streaming video. Okay? So yun
Hindi
po.
po ba harmful yung 5G sa 6G?
Hindi, magkaiba pa siya. Actually, US pa nga hindi pa po siya nag-implement ng 6G because they're still under development of how 6G is gonna be deployed in the US. Dito sa atin wala pa. 5G kasi medyo hindi pa siya masyado implemented as a infrastructure. Medyo naka-LTE pa rin tayo. So I'm sure na may development na rin natin yan. There are parts of our areas kasi na wala pang signal, di ba? Okay?
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay po, sir. Okay po.
Okay. So next,
Apa.
thank you so much. Pero excited tayo sa paggamit natin ng 5G kasi ang bilis whenever we're trying to play games, ang bilis hindi maglalag, di ba? Okay. Next, we'll talk about two terminologies here na masasadasaan nyo if you're talking about computer networking. You have computer architecture versus computer infrastructure. Again, the definition here is medyo madaming malalim na definition. We'll have a shorter definition for architecture. When we talk about computer architecture, it talks about the blueprint lang po, the layout, yung mga plano. Okay? Whereas infrastructure, kasama na po yung hardware. What is hardware? Ito po yung mga tangible. These are tangible devices or things that you use in a computer network. For example, tablets, PCs. Okay? So lahat. It encompasses everything. Even the users, yung mga tao, that is part of the computer infrastructure. So infrastructure is actually bigger than architecture. Okay? Pero masasagasaan nyo to, madadaanan nyo to. Just to give you a heads up, say, baka may magtanong sa iyo, sa inyo, what is the difference between computer network architecture and what is infrastructure? So infrastructure is actually bigger as it encompasses architecture. Sakop ngayon, pati yung mga plano, pati yung mga devices, even yung tablets, even the cell phones that users use. That is infrastructure. Okay? Maliwanag tayo dyan?
Yes po. Thank you po.
Opo.
Apa.
Copy, sir. Copy.
Thank you. So next,
Opo, sir. Opo, sir.
With regards to infrastructure, we have a data center. Data or data, depends. It's actually colloquial, you know. So it depends wherever you are. You can read it as data or you can read it as data. Data center. So these are warehouses or facilities that have all of the equipments and services para sa isang organization with regards to computer networks, storing ng information, processing ng information, and the dissemination of data and applications. So users of data centers, you've got Facebook and Google. Actually, madami pa. Anything na nagpo-provide ng services, for example, you've got may mga gumagamit pa ba dito ng Yahoo Mail?
Ako po, sir.
Okay. So,
Opo, sir.
yeah.
Ako po.
So we have data centers that store the servers that store your information. Facebook has all of your information. I'll be showing a video later on what data centers are. Okay? But basically, these are big warehouses that have all of your information. If you're using like Snapchat or WeChat, it's not actually true that they delete your conversations. They have a copy of those conversations in their servers. I'm not really sure when they purge the data information, but they have copies of your conversations. Even Facebook Messenger, even kahit ma-delete nyo conversation nyo, they still have copies of them in their servers. Okay? So, ingat kayo. Careful what you upload.
Okay.
I've got here a video on what data centers are. I hope you hear it. Wait lang.
A data center is the brains of the internet.
Are you able to hear the audio?
It is.
Yes po, yes.
Yes po.
Opo, sir.
Yes po.
Row upon row upon
May palakasan to.
all working together to provide the services that make Google function. I love building and operating data centers. I'm Joe Cava, Vice President of Data Centers at Google. I'm responsible for
Volume po.
globally that design.
Sorry, that's a maximum that I have with the volume.
We're also responsible for the environmental health and safety.
Choppy po, sir.
Choppy talaga.
Carbon offsets
sorry.
for our data centers.
Choppy po.
Data center here in South Carolina is one node in a larger network of data centers all
Wait lang,
over.
let me try something else
All
here
the
para
employees
bumilis.
at Google.
Wait lang.
Delayed yung video.
Delayed yung video. Medyo issue kasi yung network.
Typical po. Choppy po yung video, choppy check. Medyo lag po yung video.
Let's try this.
Sir, wala po akong magandang video.
Yeah, wait lang po. I'll be presenting it again.
Inaayos pa, guys. So for the meantime, if you do have questions, let me know. Pakilagay po dun sa comment box or sa the chat box natin. Again, please remind everybody to please refrain from entertaining ideas or topics not related to networking as of this time. Okay, thank you.
Wait lang po ah.
A data center's the brains of the internet.
The engine of the internet.
It is a giant building with a lot of power, a lot of cooling, and a lot of computers.
It's row upon row upon row of machines, all working together to provide the services that make Google function.
I love building and operating data centers. I'm Joe Cava, Vice President of Data Centers at Google. I'm responsible for managing the teams globally that design, build, and operate Google's data centers. We're also responsible for the environmental health and safety, sustainability, and carbon offsets for our data centers. This data center here in South Carolina is one node in a larger network of data centers all over the world. Of all the employees at Google, a very, very small percentage of those employees are authorized to even enter a data center campus. The men and women that run these data centers and keep them up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they are incredibly passionate about what they're doing.
In layman's terms, what do I do here?
I typically refer to myself as the herder of cats.
And I'm an engineer, hardware site operations manager.
We keep the lights on.
And we enjoy doing it.
And they work very hard. So we like to provide them a fun environment where they can also play hard as well.
We just went past the 3 million man-hour mark for zero lost time incidents. 3 million man-hours is a really long time, and with the number of people that we have on site, that is an amazing accomplishment.
I think the Google data centers really can offer a level of security that almost no other company can match. We have a information security team that is truly second to none. You have the expression, they wrote the book on that. Well, there are many of our information security team members that have really written the books on best practices in information security. Protecting the security and the privacy of our users' information is our foremost design criteria. We use various layers of higher level security the closer into the center of the campus you get. So just to enter this campus, my badge had to be on a pre-authorized access list. Then to come into the building, that was another level of security. To get into the secure corridor, which leads to the data center, that's a higher level of security. And the data center and the networking rooms are the highest level of security. And the technologies we use are different. Like for instance, in our highest level areas, we even use underfloor intrusion detection via laser beams. So I'm going to demonstrate going into the secure corridor now. One, I have to be on the authorized list with my badge. And then two, I use a biometric iris scanner to verify that it truly is me. Okay, here we are on the data center floor. The first thing that I notice is that it's a little warm in here. It's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Google runs our data centers warmer than most because it helps with the efficiency. You'll notice that we have overhead power distribution. Coming from the outside yard, we bring in the high voltage power, distribute across the bus bars to all of the customized bus taps that are basically plugs where we plug in all the extension cords. All of our racks don't really look like a traditional server rack. These are custom designed and built for Google so that we can optimize the servers for hyper efficiency and high performance computing.
it's true that sometimes drives fail and we have to replace them to upgrade them because maybe they're just no longer efficient to run. We have a very thorough end-to-end chain of custody process for managing those drives from the time that they're checked out to the server till they're brought to an ultra-secure cage where they're erased and crushed if necessary. So any drive that can't be verified as 100% clean, we crush it first, and then we take it to an industrial wood chipper where it's shredded into these little pieces like this.
In the time that I've been at Google for almost 6.5 years now, we have changed our cooling technologies at least 5 times.
Most data centers have air conditioning units along the perimeter walls that force cold air under the floor that then raises up in front of the servers and cools the servers. In our solution, we take the server racks and we butt it right up against our air conditioning unit. We just use cool water flowing through those copper coils that you see there. So the hot air from the servers is contained in that hot aisle. It raises up, passes across those coils, where the heat from the air transfers to the water in those coils, and then that warm water is then brought outside the data center to our cooling plant, where it is cooled down through our cooling towers and returned back to the data center, and that process just repeats over and over again.
To me, the thing that amazes me about Google and the data centers is the pace of innovation and always challenging the way we're doing things. So when people say that innovation in a certain area is done, that we've kind of reached the pinnacle of what can be achieved, I just laugh.
A data center's the brains of the internet. The engine of the internet.
It is a
There's one more, guys.
The sourcing and operations engineering team is responsible for ensuring all of our outsourced partners can design, build, manufacture, and ship that infrastructure on time so that we deliver a great experience to users around the globe.
We have some challenges today, and that our growth at times is exceeding worldwide capacity.
But impossible is nothing here. And that's actually the part I love, because we do get to manage the impossible.
The sourcing team has to be involved in supporting the entire process for sourcing a data center location. All of the mechanical and electrical infrastructure, all of the commercial electronics, all of the connectivity connecting that DC to the planet. If you took one Facebook data center and laid it on its side, it would be taller than the Empire State Building. That's bigger than 4 soccer fields.
We enable the delivery of Facebook products by just getting the compute and storage technology and equipment to the data centers when it's needed, on time. Basically, we get to touch all facets of the business.
All of these elements working together from one cohesive team build the backbone that runs Facebook.
When I first got here, everything is about disruptive ideas. How quickly can we implement those disruptive ideas? That was very refreshing.
We don't do cookie cutter designs here. We get to explore new ways of designing products that would not be available to the commercial industry. And that to me is extremely exciting.
We're not plugged into a role. Every day's new. Every day's fun.
We get to work with industry-leading engineers that are designing the products, and every day I come into work, I learn something new.
Triage, collaborate, ability to move fast and deliver. That's the fun part.
The speed of change and innovation and the investment for growth provides tremendous opportunities, both on a personal and a professional level.
The biggest thing that resonates about Facebook for me is the people.
You will not find people that are more open and honest. And I think the work I do, as well as the people I work with, is why I stay.
To me, being open is really valuing a diverse culture. So as my daughter is coming into the workforce, I want to have a positive impact and show her what great female role models that we have here at Facebook.
The question is not which problem do you want to solve? It's what team do you want to be a part of? Because there are a handful of companies that are solving very cool big problems, but not the way that we are going about solving them here.
We have so much work to do. It's really mind-boggling. Our mission is to connect the rest of the world and bring communities together, and we can really make an impact on their lives. That's what brought me here.
When we look at the ramp that we're trying to accomplish over the next 3-5 years, it's scary. But that's also the fun part about it, right? Which is you can look at it and be afraid and not get anywhere, or you can look at it and say, I'm going to take that mountain.
Okay, thank you. Did anybody, I see people being disconnected. Did you get to see the video?
Yes, sir.
Yes po. Wait a minute.
Opo, sir. They get to reconnect. Malapit na naman ito matapos, no?
Opo.
This shows you, the video actually shows you that you have several careers. Yung mga pumasok. Marami dito CS, marami IT, and I'm sure in your thoughts, programming to, di ba? Gagawa kayo ng program, gagawa kayo ng application, gagawa kayo ng software. Now, it's not actually limited to that. There's a lot of career choices that you can do, especially with regards to computer networking. Now, pwede kayong maging computer network technician, computer network engineer, computer network security expert. There's a lot of career. And you don't actually have to finish CS or IT to get hired as a computer network engineer. You just need to take Cisco module exams or Cisco training. And then once you get your certification, computer network engineer ka na po. And gosh, guys, yung salary, if you finish Cisco training, it's from $50,000 to $55,000. I'm sorry, pesos a month. Ganun kalaki if you're a Cisco network engineer. And ang daming opportunities that you can go. You can go local with PLDT, and a lot of companies need computer networking po kasi. Okay? Baka mamaya ma-discourage kayo, hindi na ako mag-aaral, hindi na ako CSIT. Mag-computer networking na lang po ako. But it works with having a CSIT background po kasi. Okay? So let's move on. Okay. So next we have Ethernet. I've got a few more slides left na lang po naman eh. Next we have Ethernet. This is the most common technology that we have for computer networking. Ito yung ginagamit na natin nowadays. Okay? Ethernet is the one that uses the category 5 cable. Yun po yung tawag dyan sa mga blue or green na cable na gamit nyo for your computers. Okay? And, okay? So yung nag-develop po niyan, or the one that governs it, that gives the protocols for that, is the IEEE, or the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Now, Ethernet is just one standard that they are governing, or rather, tinitingnan nila, or dinidevelop nila. There are several others. Bluetooth is 802.15. Wi-Fi is 802.11. What else? Basta marami pang standards or networking technology. But this is the most common one that we are currently using. Okay? So, maliwanag tayo doon. Okay, so let's move on. Now, with computer networking po kasi, sabi nga po natin, with regards to infrastructure, hindi lang po siya software, it also encompasses the hardware. Now, hardware, for those of you who do not know, hardware is the one that you can touch, the physical components of a computer system. Yung desktop nyo, okay, yung monitor nyo, yung printer nyo, that's hardware. Okay, that's the appliance that you need for you to connect to a network. Now, different from software is your applications, the one inside your computers. Now, specifically for computer networking, merong mga hardware appliances na para lang sa computer networking. Okay, now these are some of them. Now, the first one that we have here, can you see this? First one that we have here is your network adapter. Now, this is different from probably what you see pag tinignan niyo yung likod ng desktop nyo. You can see the port. Can you guys see the port? Yan po yung pinagsasaksakan natin ng cable. Now, it's called your network interface card. Usually kasi it's built in, but for those who need an expanded network interface card, or rather more networks to be connected, you use these network adapters. Okay, so may experience nyo gamitin yan once we delve more into networking. What else do we commonly use? We also use Ethernet cables. That you all know this as network cable po, cable pang networking, computer network. But it's more commonly in the computer area or computer field, it's more referred to as Ethernet cable. And the one at the end, yung kinakabit po natin, it's called an RJ45. RJ, which is short for register jack. Okay, but 45 kasi marami pa po. Yung sa phones, it's RJ11. Okay, so again, it's RJ45. So what else? We also have hubs and switches. So ito yung pinagsasalpakan nyo ng mga kable. Okay, if you turn your routers around, you're gonna see 4 ports, probably at the behind your routers. You're gonna see 4 ports that makes you connect wired devices. Lets you enable the connection for wired devices. And hubs and switches works the same way, and their purpose is that they connect devices together. That's their purpose, connect devices. So yung mga nakikita nyo sa comm shop, what do they use? They use hubs or switches. So anong pagkakaiba ng dalawa, sir? Now, switches are newer technology than hubs, but they basically do the same thing. Okay? So next, we have routers. So what are routers? If we have hubs and switches that connect devices, routers and bridges connect networks. Hello? So may background ba? Wala sa akin. Can you guys see this?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Yes po.
So we're moving again. Konti na lang po. Konti na lang. Medyo matatapos na tayo, no? Routers and bridges, the difference between these two is that, between routers and bridges and hubs and switches, is that routers and bridges connect networks. So ano yung ginagamit natin when we want to connect like Pinoy's Kalamba with Pinoy's Las Piñas is we have routers. That's why in your houses, you have the routers that look like this. Okay? Because routers connect you to a greater network, which is the internet. Okay? That's why routers are commonly referred to as gateways. Because they connect you to the internet. Also, internet in computer networking commonly referred to as the cloud. Okay? Pag narinig nyo yun, connected ba sa cloud? So what's the cloud? Cloud actually refers to as the internet. So again, I can't put more emphasis on this. Routers and bridges connect networks. If you want networks of different devices connected together, you've got to use routers and bridges. And also, there's a difference between routers and bridges, katulad ng hubs and switches. Routers use newer technology compared to bridges. Okay? So these are just some of the basic appliances, kasi networking hardware, so commonly called networking appliances then. So these are the ones that siguro madadaanan nyo or siguro magagamit nyo whenever you want to expand your information or skills or trainings with regards to computer networking. Okay, so madami pa yan. Okay. So next, we're nearing the end. Next, what are the new trends with regards to computer networking? Ano yung mga bago? Ano yung trending ngayon? Okay. So we have here IoT. Guys, pabasa po dito as IoT. Okay, you have to put a stress on each letter. IoT, or short for the Internet of Things. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this. A lot of you maybe have dealt with this. But IoT is just basically devices, common devices, being connected to the net. Kunyari, diba, we got smartwatches that have the ability to connect to the net. You've got shoes, smart shoes, that have the ability to connect to the net. Everyday items, pag narinig nyo nga po, smart device, anything that has smart on it might be considered or might have the ability to connect to the internet. Okay? So yun lang po yun. Baka narinig nyo na po siya. Basically, these are just everyday devices that connect to the internet. You might have heard of refrigerators being able to connect to the internet wherein ite-text ka na wala na po kayong itlog, kulang na lang po yung karne, magde-defrost po ba ako? You have something like that. Smart TV, smart air conditioners. Everyday items that have the ability to connect to the internet are fall under Internet of Things. Next, we have edge computing. These are common terms that we use in networking. Edge computing is related to IoT. Edge computing, kasi po, Internet of Things, sabi nga po, yung mga devices, they can process data by themselves. For example, yung yung refrigerator. Yung mga data niya nakakollect niya, for example, data with regards to the number of eggs you still have, the number of produce that you have on your refrigerator, produce being yung mga vegetables, meat, so on and so forth, baka naglo-lower na, but it processes it, diba? And it sends you data also. So any device na nagsasend ng data, nagpa-process ng data, would fall under edge computing. Kasi, rather would need edge computing. Kasi dito po, sa IoT, it requires a server to process that information. And the server gets overburdened, na parang bumibigat sa kanya yung workload, you need edge computing na yung computing and processing, pinatransfer niya dun sa mga devices. Sila na po yung nagpa-process ng data. Now, the reason for this, it shortens the travel time for information to travel, and it shortens also processing. Hindi natin makapansin, but again, milliseconds is a big thing with regards to processing of information in computer networking. Okay, so edge computing gives the burden to the devices at the edge of the network, the end devices. Kunyari, ang magpa-process ng information is the refrigerator itself, the TV itself, the smartwatch, sila yung magpa-process ng information. So what else? Another trend that we have is gigabit wireless, mga 6G, mabilis na pag-process or rather mabilis na bandwidth. Okay, mga 3 minutes na lang po, mga 3 seconds kadalasan, 1 gig na file pag nagda-download kayo, ganun lang siya kabilis. Now, I can't stress the excitement I feel waiting for the implementation of gigabit wireless kasi we all want faster connections on it. Okay? More trends that we can hear. Cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Sabi ko nga po sa inyo, when we talk about cloud, cloud is the internet. Okay? Yung cloud, yun yung internet. Okay? Now, cloud computing, you don't, kasi diba, typically, yung mga laptops nyo, you need to install Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and so on and so forth. O kaya yung businesses, they need to have a specific application pag mag-store ng data. Kunyari, software nila, nakalagay dun sa specific device. Cloud computing enables us to upload or rather connect to the internet without having those kind of services. Basta connected ka lang sa internet, you can avail of those services. So that's cloud computing. Everything is in the internet. Diba? For example, what I'm doing right now, I'm not using PowerPoint. I'm using something online. I'm using Canva for my presentation. Okay? So cloud computing makes it easier because you don't need, this is services on demand. Okay? So there's a lot of trends out there and these are just some of them. Okay? So madami po kasi hindi natin kayang i-discuss everything with one sitting with regards to computer networking. Sabi nga po ni Ma'am Roma earlier this morning as I was listening, nagkakamali po kayo if you were thinking that computer science and IT has less math. Where in reality, you have more math than other courses. Kasi you deal with numbers more than other courses. Okay?
Okay po.
So, I'll be ending my presentation there. I'm sorry.
Yes. So,
wait lang po.
Papa.
Okay? I'll be ending my presentation with just a summary of what we discussed. Can you can you see my screen? Summary points, di ba? We're on the same page naman, di ba? Okay, so we discussed what a computer network is. A basic understanding kayo, these are just devices na naka-connect sa iba pang devices. Also, we have tackled computer networks. They do a lot of things. Imagine yourselves kapag walang computer network. Can you imagine yourselves not being able to connect to Messenger, not being able to be updated with Facebook? Sanay na kayo di ba? What else?
Yes.
Difference between extranet and intranet? What else? What makes a computer network a computer network? You have rules, mediums, madami pa po. Okay? And lastly, that the Ethernet is the most common network technology that we are using right now. Okay, so tandaan niyo po yung Ethernet kasi, again, dadaan din po sa inyo yung term yan. In the coming lectures, probably, as you go on with your study of computer science and IT. Okay? So with that, I hope you're still here. As I can see, there's only 89 people remaining.
Dito pa po.
Okay, there's only 89 people remaining. I'd like to end this with a quote. Remember that with all the devices that we still have, man is still the most extraordinary computer of all. Always remember that. The user is the most powerful tool that a computer network would still be using. So again, thank you so much for listening in, and I hope that you have learned a lot. And I do hope that the presentation hasn't discouraged you from taking networking, because there's a lot of opportunities out there for you with computer networking. Okay? So again, thank you so much.
Guys, thank you din sa inyo. Guys, I do hope you've learned a lot today, online classes. But then again, I'd like to thank everybody. First of all, our director, and then the faculty members here with us, our resource speakers, and of course, lahat ng mga estudyanteng nag-participate on our first virtual bridge program. So lahat ng nasa Google Meet, and to everyone watching us live from Facebook, thank you so much. See you all again tomorrow.